So, we're going to go back to the story, and I will continue a year from the day of adoption. So, I have been here for 1 year now, and I've had many wonderful days here. I've been well loved, and I have learned a lot of the love of the Father and the love of Jesus. Yet, I'm not fully rooted and grounded in it yet. That's a still ongoing process. So one day I start hearing these thoughts in my head that say, I have been here for a year and I'm still not perfect. I am still not trusting the Father and Jesus enough. Although they have loved me this well and given me all of this, I still get mad at the other children every now and then. And I'm also still not very good at school because we are being homeschooled here. And I start thinking that I have to change something because I feel guilty, I feel ashamed. They are giving me so much love and they are providing everything now. I have to pay back what Jesus paid for me. And as time goes by and I think about these thoughts, I start feeling more and more guilty and ashamed, and I don't really go much to the Father or Jesus anymore just to be loved. And if they say that they love me, I can't really believe it or receive it. So I rather just start working more. If ever they need help with something, I'm the first in line. I will be the one to help. And I decide that I'm gonna be a very loving person now. I'm just gonna be perfect at loving and perfect. I'm gonna be a very good student. I'm gonna be a good child. I'm gonna prove that I'm worthy of this. So from that day on, I make sure I'm always smiling when I'm seeing the other children. And if someone is harming me in some way, I'm just gonna smile and say nothing. I'm not gonna do anything bad. And I start working so hard with my study, with homeschooling. And at first it works out. I'm actually making some progress and I'm keeping the smile on my face and all that, although it feels bad inside. But it works, and I'm kind of starting to feel better. But when time goes by, it's starting to get harder and harder, and I'm getting exhausted and I'm getting angry actually inside. I guess I really do care what the other kids say about me. I also start getting jealous if someone is doing a work that I should have done and they're getting the praise from the Father. And I'm also jealous because other kids are So, one morning, when everyone's sleeping, I'm leaving, and I go back to the streets. And when I'm leaving, I'm feeling a little bit sad, but as time goes by, and I walk to my old home, the streets, I also feel this freedom, because at least I don't have to be ashamed anymore for not earning this, or guilty all day long. And I feel relieved. But very quickly I'm learning that living on the streets is harder than I remembered. And no one loves me. I have to survive my own. And I really started missing Jesus and the Father. But I can't go back. I would rather be here in this misery than in that guilt and shame. I know they must be so disappointed in me since I didn't work out. I didn't become who they thought I would. I'm a disappointment. One day I see Jesus walking towards me on the street, and he's looking for someone. First I run. I'm trying to hide, but he catches up with me. He takes my hand and says, "Sweetheart, what's going on? Why do you run away? Why did you leave? I'm here to get you back." And I say, "I can't go back." And he asks, "Why not?" And I say, "I might as well tell you the whole story." And I do. And he answers, "My dear sweetheart, I'm so sorry that you've been going through this. You should have come to us in the first place. You have been believing lies. You just don't see the depth of my love yet, sweetheart. The price I paid wasn't a loan, but a gift. It was more than enough for your every weakness and mistake for the rest of your life. And when you tried to be a good girl on your own strength, it only made things worse. You noticed that, didn't you?" Yes. But when you come to us and believe our love and live freely as a child all day long, this is where the fruit of love grows in your heart. And you will hinder that if you don't believe it and let us love you. Always come to us, baby. We love to love you when you're broken. We really do delight in that. Jesus carries me home in his arms like a little lamb, which is wonderful because I'm so hungry at this point, so I don't have much strength. When we arrive at home, everyone's there waiting for me, and the Father takes me in his arms, and he's full of joy, and he's giving me all these kisses and hugs. I am so welcome. And I say, I'm sorry, Father. And he says, you are forgiven. My daughter, I love you. I'm so glad you're back. And I get new clothes on. Dry, beautiful clothes. And I get food and I'm taken care of. And when I go back to my room, there is a beautiful bouquet of flowers waiting for me with a note that says, we love you and always will. What an adventure. I know I learned a big lesson on this one, but I feel so relieved now. This whole new stage of security that I haven't had before. I am sought after. And it's evening time now. And Jesus comes and he says, do you want me to read you a story? Or actually, do you want me to tell you a story? Sometimes he tells me these stories he has made up, and they're mostly about me and him and the Father. So I'm like, yes, I have missed your story so much. So he sits at my bed as I rest. He's petting my hair. I can hear raindrops on the window. Raindrops, raindrops, raindrops. I can rest now. Before the story starts, Jesus asks me a question. My dear one, what did you learn from all this? And I answer, well, your love comes first. I'm not trying to be a good girl anymore on my own, but if I feel like it's difficult to be a good girl and to love, I run to your arms and I'm letting you love me. And I will believe your love first. And then it's gonna be easier. Yes. I also learned that you will never let me go. I also learned that you will always love me and forgive me because of the price that you paid. I am safe. And Jesus says, I believe in the free, confident princess that you're becoming. But we're not in a hurry for you to change. We wait as long as need be. But we already delight in you so much. And then, as I relax, says, "My sweetheart, I want you to rest now." And I do. I close my eyes and I let myself